I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we are taking a closer look at Superman issue number 31. The Man of Steel is going toe-to-toe with the man they call the Terminator. Will this be round 2 for Superman, or will Deathstroke come out victorious? Well, let's hop on in together and find out. Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, there's a disturbance happening at Star Labs. So, must be a day that ends in Y, am I right? Apparently one of their head scientists is having something of a breakdown right now. His wife took the kids. And now that he's heard the higher-up suits at the company want to weaponize his life's work, well, that's more than enough to push him over the edge. Luckily, Superman is there to talk him down. All of that, though, despite taking multiple pages, actually has nothing to do with the story, because the real story starts when we check on in with Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, who are in South America right now trying to get an interview with one of their most brutal drug lords. Only much to Lois's dismay, this drug lord and his army has already been murdered at the hands of Deathstroke the Terminator, one of the DC Universe's greatest killers for hire, or at least he used to be. If you've actually been reading the new Deathstroke book, which you should because it's awesome, you'll know that Slade Wilson has actually turned over a new leaf and is currently a good guy. This story takes place before all of that. Lois needs to find a replacement story, and she figures, hey, people love psychotic killers, so why not write the ultimate piece about Deathstroke? Superman disagrees, having fought him once before in the pages of the Deathstroke book, and as such knows full well just how dangerous a guy he can be. But being the news hound that she is, once Lois sets her sights on something, it's very hard to dissuade her, even if that means going into the deep, dark bowels of the criminal underworld to try and set up a meeting between her and Slade. As we discover, though, Deathstroke has a lot of enemies, and as such, Lois isn't the only one trying to smoke him out of his hole. There's this dude named Cestus and his group of assassin killers called the Throng. Superman manages to find out that Lois is in need, and as such swoops on in and takes care of the bad guys for her. They have themselves a wife-husband argument about whether or not he was looking over her shoulder this whole time, but Superman says he was sure that Lois had it and only came when he absolutely needed to. It's only when Superman leaves that Lois actually comes face to face with Deathstroke, who apparently was using her to try and draw out Cestus and his guys, which even though Superman already defeated the bulk of them, there's actually more dudes for Deathstroke to fight, all the while Lois narrates how totally super sick awesome he is. Deathstroke's also totally cool with being interviewed too. Apparently on top of being a super crazy killer for hire, he's also a massive narcissist who loves to see his name in print, or at least according to this book he does. Also, despite being a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, Lois sure does pull a lot of punches in the interview with Deathstroke, instead choosing to talk up how great he is. She doesn't ask obvious questions like, hey, what's up with the eye, and hey, what's up with the family? Despite this very soft article writing, the Deathstroke story ends up being a giant hit, and Perry White gives Lois a nice little pat on the back. Unfortunately for her, though, as she leaves the office later that same day, Deathstroke is outside waiting for her. Apparently, Lois was actually the target all along as the comic ends. So that was Superman number 31, everybody, and overall, I wasn't exactly feeling this one. It just felt odd on a lot of levels. For one, the cover was totally misleading. We were promised a fight between Deathstroke and Superman, and we most certainly do not get one. Also, I will admit I am a fan of stories that focus on Lois, and one of the cooler things about this Superman book is it is about the greater Superman family and able to focus on characters who aren't Clark. I just could not wrap my head around Lois being such a Deathstroke fan. I also think it's a massive missed opportunity for this book to try and not take advantage of all the cool stuff happening in the main Deathstroke book right now with him becoming a good guy. Imagine how interesting it would be if Lois interviewed good guy Deathstroke and how that would make Superman feel. I know in the wake of what was going on in the Oz Effect and the other Superman book, it was going to be hard for this one to stand shoulder to shoulder with it, and yet even with that, it still doesn't manage to cut the mustard. I'd give this one a generous 6 out of 10, and I hope it can course correct for the next issue moving forward. Right now, it just feels like a lot of filler. So that's Superman, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, why not check out some of the other videos I have available for my channel right now. Then you can follow me on Twitter at Cape Joel to always be up to date on what's happening. And if you want a great deal on shipping and handling the next time you buy a comic book trade, please use my book depository link down in the description. Not only will you be saving a ton, but you'll be helping me and the channel out at the same time. So until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching.